Hey, what's up, guys? Justin from Vanguard Vlogs coming to you with the wide shot deck profile of the Sanctuary of Light Planetal Dragon from the new BT14 Brilliant Psycho box. Now, this deck I think is really cool for two reasons. One, you can use any like random old ass Royal Paladin cards you want. That's why I was kind of attracted to it, because outside of the chain ride, you do not need anything specific. You can put in whatever the heck you want. So if you can tell here, maybe you have a good eye. I have some really cool old cards in here that I love, that were just kind of sitting in the back of my trade binder. But for those not familiar with it, this is a new chain ride. It came out in BT14. It's a Royal Paladin origin, and their gimmick is that they all buff each other up, and not just when one's in the soul of the other. Like when you have the grade 3 out, they all get power, all the old ones. I'll show you what I mean as we go through them. So the first one is Sanctuary of Light Planet Lancer. It has the standard effect when the grade 1, which is called Little Storm, rides him. You top 7 for the grade 2 or the grade 3, and if the grade 1 doesn't ride him, Forerunner, move him back. As far as triggers go, over here we got all the new Jewel Knight triggers, just because they were convenient. We got Sacred Unicorn Draw, Mill Me or Heal Me for heal, Royal Stinger for critical, and Optarptus for stand. Then down here we have Little Storm. Little Storm's the grade 1. Obviously 4 of each of the other ones. If you have a card named Sanctuary Light Planet Lancer, he's 1,000, so he's 8k. And when the grade 2 Royal Paladin named Sanctuary of... Sorry, I didn't read this ahead of time. When a grade 2 Royal Paladin not named Sanctuary of Light determined to rise this unit, if you have a card named Sanctuary of Light Planet Lancer in your soul, look at the 7 cards for up to 1... Whoa, really? When a grade 2 less Royal Paladin... Sorry. I won't read it again. Basically what it says is, when another grade 2 rides him, you top 7 for Determinator, which is the chain ride grade 2, and Superior ride him. Interesting. That's a pretty cool idea. I like that. Then we have 4 of the original, the OG perfect cards. Flash Shield E-Salt. Look at that. Look at that old-ass BT01 foiling. Beautiful. As far as all this, the old rare cards in this deck go, they were actually all in an MLB deck, and I just kind of teched them out and put them in here. Including this old Little Sage Marin from BT01, one of my favorite classic art cards. I always look at the card and be like, oh yeah, she's a giant. And then to continue with the new Jewel Knights, I added in Jewel Knight Melmy. This is the damage forcer. What I mean by that is you counterblast 1. When you call this unit, you put the top card of your deck into your damage zone, and then at the end, you take a card out of your damage zone, and you put it back into your deck and you shuffle it. Now, the reason I didn't really have another great one to put in here from the start, but the reason I went with that one is because Planetal Dragon's Limit Break is super good. So if you can get it, if you're at 3 damage, call him, Limit Break for that turn, get all your attacks off, and then you end the turn not at Limit Break, which is the really meta way to play that kind of card. Over here, for the grade 2 lineup, we have Sanctuary of Light Determinator. Again, he's a 10k if you have the grade 1 in the soul, and when this unit rides a card named Sanctuary of Light Little Storm, if you have a card named Sanctuary of Light Planet Lancer in your soul, search your deck for up to 1 card with Sanctuary of Light in its card name, call it to rearguard. Now that's where the chain ride starts getting unique and starts getting interesting. When you ride him and you've done the chain ride properly, you can just call another one of him or another one of the grade 1 from your deck. Now there are other Sanctuary of Light cards, and the thing I like most about that effect, that it's maybe, you know what, it looks kind of broken, because by the way that makes the sound, you could just call the grade 3 to rearguard. Real talk. Take a look at that effect. See if I can get it focused. Because of the sleeves and the foiling, some of these cards are really hard to focus on camera. Search your deck for up to 1 card with Sanctuary of Light in its card name, call it to... Yeah. Well, I don't see why you couldn't call that one. You could also call the Unlocker promo, I guess. Now for funsies, also out of the MLB deck I've teched in 3 classic Triple R Blaster Bladers. Now you're probably asking yourself, why did I do this? Just because. Just because they're fun. It's a good card. It's just it's always been a good card. It's steadily kept its value. It's a pretty card, and honestly, I couldn't think of anything better. I could have just added in more beat sticks, but I had these, so it's why the forge not? Next, I have 2 Covenant Knight Randall. And his effect is simply, when this unit attacks, if the number of cards in your hand is greater than your opponent's, he becomes an 11k attacker, Vanguard or Rearguard. Now the next one I have was kind of, it was hard to get a hold of an extra one, but 3 Pathetic Jewel Knight Olwen. Don't even try to get, very hard to get a hold of these, because they only came out in that terrible Mega Trial deck, and you only got 2 of them. So if you want these there, if you find them, they're like a cheap common, but if you try to buy them, they can be kind of expensive. But the way this works is when this unit attacks, if the number of rear guards you have is more than your opponent's, he gets 3k. Boom. 11k attacker. And since the Chain Ride has a superior calling element to it, you are often going to have more rear guards. Now, as far as the grade 3 lineup goes, the main big daddy is obviously 4 Sanctuary of Light Planetall Dragons. Then we break 4. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, all of your units with Sanctuary of Light in the card name, get plus 3,000 till the end of the turn. Boom. That's why it's good. Because if you have a full field of the Chain Ride extra cards, suddenly they're all swinging for 3 more. Perfect numbers. Bam, what? His other effect is Counterblast 2, non-limit break. When this unit is placed in the Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 card with Sanctuary of Light in its card name, call it to Rearguard. So, he and Blaster Blade are the only cards that use Counterblast. And that means, as soon as you ride him, you can immediately call another Sanctuary of Light. You ride the grade 2, you also call one. You get it's very easy to get a full field and keep up a hand advantage. So next up out of that, I have, again, out of the MLB deck, Swordsman of the Explosive Flames, Palamedes. When this unit attacks, if the number of grade 3 Royal Paladin Vanguards and or Rearguards you have is 2 or more, unit gets 3k. Just a good grade 3 beat stick. And just because it's a fun deck and the main card is a dragon, I added in probably the card you may have never even played this card, seen it, or heard of it, but the Star Drive Dragon, the 3k vanilla 10k attacker. You're probably wondering what this even is. Well, a while back, you can still pick them up. Most local card shops have an abundance of these, especially if they have like a lot of people who play Vanguard. When Bushiroad first brought out the game, they sent out these little things called flash decks. They were I think they're like 25 or 30 card like mini decks, and they had a few cards that only came in them, and the idea was they were supposed to teach you how to play Vanguard. So there was like, they came in pairs, so there was a Royal Paladin and a Kagero one that each had like a 10k vanilla beat stick dragon in them. And the cool thing about those was they also had special manga art Galatines and 10k vanilla Knight of Nahalem. So yeah, that's where this card comes from. I just thought it'd be a fun card to have in this deck. Real talk. Has no effect, has no nothing, just a cool card. So yeah, this is a way more solid deck than it probably should be for its price. The Planetall Dragons are not expensive, and the rest of like the nice cards I have in here are totally optional. You can do anything else you wanted with this deck. But for just like the weird random Chain Ride they included in the set, it's actually pretty fantastic. 2 thumbs way up, America. So if you've seen a few of these cards floating around, like people open these boxes and maybe your friends have like trades and stuff of these, you probably get them for like $5 to $8 each. And the other cards, like the grade 1 is a common, the 0 and the grade 2 are both single rares, so they're not too hard to get a hold of. If you cut out these cards and you didn't want to run perfect cards, though I would recommend running perfect cards, the old perfect cards aren't too bad. They're like $6 to $8 each. But if you weren't going to do that, you just wanted to make this a fun little side, no perfect card deck, this would probably cost you like $40 at the very most. I mean, most of the cards you throw in here are worth absolutely nothing. But yeah, I haven't really gotten to playtest this one yet, but I'm really excited to. Next chance I get, this is going to be the first deck I bust out, because it's way better than it has any right to be. And Week BT14 continues right here on Vanguard Vlogs.